When dealing with emergency generator systems and transfer switches, understanding the requirements for separately derived systems is crucial. In the scenario of a 277/480 volts 3-phase 4-wire service with a 1200 amps ground fault interrupter main disconnect and an emergency generator supplying lighting for life safety, the question arises whether a 3-pole or 4-pole transfer switch is necessary. According to the National Electrical Code, a 3-pole transfer switch is generally acceptable under specific conditions. A separately derived system is only mandated when significant differences exist between the normal and emergency power sources, or when the emergency power source lacks proper grounding. Firstly, consider the voltage and frequency. If the normal and emergency power sources share the same voltage, such as 277/480 volts, 3-phase, 4-wire, and there are no substantial frequency variations, the need for a separately derived system diminishes. Secondly, grounding plays a vital role. If the emergency generator is grounded, a separately derived system might not be necessary. The key is to ensure that the grounding of the emergency system aligns with the requirements of the electrical code to maintain safety and prevent ground faults. In situations where both the normal and emergency power sources operate at the same voltage and frequency, and the emergency generator is adequately grounded, a 3-pole transfer switch is usually sufficient. However, to fully grasp the concept, it is important to define what constitutes a separately derived system and under what circumstances it becomes essential. A separately derived system is an electrical source, such as a generator or transformer, that is not directly connected to the primary power source. It has its own grounding electrode system and neutral conductor, effectively isolating it from the main power grid. The National Electrical Code outlines specific conditions under which a separately derived system is required. One common scenario is when the emergency power source operates at a different voltage than the normal power source. For example, if the normal power source is 480 volts and the emergency generator provides 208/120 volts, a separately derived system is necessary to ensure compatibility and prevent damage to equipment. Another situation that necessitates a separately derived system is when the emergency power source is ungrounded. Ungrounded systems can pose safety hazards due to the lack of a reference point for voltage. In such cases, a separately derived system with its own grounding electrode system provides a safe and reliable power source. When considering the type of transfer switch to use, it is important to understand the difference between 3-pole and 4-pole switches. A 3-pole transfer switch switches only the 3-phase conductors, while the neutral conductor remains connected to both the normal and emergency power sources. A 4-pole transfer switch, on the other hand, switches all 4 conductors, including the neutral. The choice between a 3-pole and 4-pole switch depends on the specific requirements of the electrical system and the type of emergency power source. In cases where a separately derived system is not required, a 3-pole transfer switch is often sufficient. However, there are situations where a 4-pole switch may be necessary, even if the emergency power source is not technically a separately derived system. One such situation is when the neutral conductor is used for ground fault protection. If the neutral conductor is connected to both the normal and emergency power sources, a ground fault on one system could potentially affect the other. In such cases, a 4-pole transfer switch can isolate the neutral conductors and prevent unwanted interactions. Another consideration is the presence of sensitive electronic equipment. Some electronic devices are susceptible to voltage fluctuations and harmonics that can be introduced by the emergency power source. A 4-pole transfer switch can help to isolate these devices from the emergency power source and prevent damage. In summary, the decision to use a 3-pole or 4-pole transfer switch depends on a variety of factors, including the voltage and frequency of the power sources, the grounding of the emergency generator, and the presence of sensitive electronic equipment. It is crucial to consult the National Electrical Code and other relevant standards to ensure that the electrical system meets all applicable requirements. Now let's delve deeper into the technical aspects. Firstly, understanding the grounding requirements is critical. According to the National Electrical Code, all electrical systems must be properly grounded to ensure safety and prevent electrical shock. The grounding system provides a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source, which allows overcurrent protective devices such as circuit breakers and fuses to trip and to energize the circuit. The grounding electrode system typically consists of a ground rod, metal water pipe, or concrete encased electrode that is connected to the neutral conductor of the electrical system. The size of the grounding electrode conductor is determined by the size of the service entrance conductors. Secondly, consider the bonding requirements. Bonding is the process of connecting all metal parts of an electrical system together to create a common ground potential. This includes metal conduits, equipment enclosures, and grounding conductors. Bonding helps to minimize voltage differences between different parts of the electrical system, which reduces the risk of electrical shock. The bonding jumpers must be sized according to the National Electrical Code Table 250.102 cone based on the size of the service entrance conductors. Thirdly, think about overcurrent protection. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect electrical circuits from overload and short circuits. These devices are rated in amps and are designed to trip when the current exceeds their rating. The size of the overcurrent protection device must be coordinated with the ampacity of the conductors it is protecting. Conductors must be protected against overcurrent in accordance with their ampacities as specified in National Electrical Code Section 240.4. Furthermore, there are specific requirements for emergency systems. Emergency systems are designed to provide power to essential loads during a power outage. These systems typically include generators, transfer switches, and batteries. The National Electrical Code Article 700 provides detailed requirements for emergency systems, including the type of equipment that must be connected to the emergency system, the duration of the emergency power supply, and the testing and maintenance requirements. When installing an emergency generator system, it is important to consider the following factors. 1. The size of the generator must be adequate to supply the essential loads. 2. The transfer switch must be properly sized and installed to ensure a seamless transition between the normal and emergency power sources. 3. The emergency power system must be tested regularly to ensure that it is functioning properly. In summary, when deciding whether to use a 3-pole or 4-pole transfer switch for an emergency generator system, it is crucial to carefully consider the specific requirements of the electrical system and the type of emergency power source. A 3-pole switch is generally acceptable when the normal and emergency power sources operate at the same voltage and frequency and the emergency generator is adequately grounded. However, a 4-pole switch may be necessary in situations where the neutral conductor is used for ground fault protection or when there is sensitive electronic equipment. It is always advisable to consult the National Electrical Code and other relevant standards to ensure that the electrical system meets all applicable requirements. Remember to always prioritize safety when working with electricity and to consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns. The decision between a 3-pole and 4-pole transfer switch is not just about code compliance, it's also about ensuring the reliability and safety of the entire electrical system. In some cases, even if the code doesn't explicitly require a 4-pole switch, it might still be a better practice to use one, especially in critical applications where even a momentary interruption of power can have serious consequences. Moreover, consider the long-term implications. As technology evolves, electrical systems are becoming more complex and sensitive to power quality issues. Using a 4-pole switch can provide an extra layer of protection against these issues and ensure the continued operation of essential equipment. Always remember that the National Electrical Code is a minimum standard. It provides a baseline for safety and performance, but it doesn't necessarily address every possible scenario. As an electrical professional, it is your responsibility to go above and beyond the code to ensure the best possible outcome for your clients. And do not forget the labeling requirements. All components of the emergency power system must be properly labeled to identify their function and purpose. This includes the generator, transfer switch, and emergency distribution panels. Clear and accurate labeling is essential for safe operation and maintenance of the system. And also, maintenance. Emergency power systems require regular maintenance to ensure that they are ready to operate when needed. This includes testing the generator, inspecting the transfer switch, and checking the batteries. A well-maintained emergency power system can provide years of reliable service. Therefore, when evaluating the need for a 3-pole versus a 4-pole transfer switch, consider the potential for future expansion or changes to the electrical system. If there is a possibility that the system will be upgraded or modified in the future, it might be wise to install a 4-pole switch from the beginning to avoid having to replace it later. And also, take into account the specific needs of the building or facility. For example, a hospital or data center will have different requirements than a commercial office building. The criticality of the loads served by the emergency power system will influence the type of transfer switch that is required. And it's important to understand the different types of transfer switches available. There are automatic transfer switches, manual transfer switches, and bypass isolation transfer switches. Automatic transfer switches automatically transfer the load from the normal power source to the emergency power source when a power outage occurs. Manual transfer switches require manual operation to transfer the load. Bypass isolation transfer switches allow the transfer switch to be bypassed for maintenance or repair without interrupting power to the load. The choice of transfer switch type will depend on the specific application and the level of redundancy required. In conclusion, the selection of a 3-pole or 4-pole transfer switch for an emergency generator system is a complex decision that requires careful consideration of various factors. It is essential to consult the National Electrical Code, consider the specific requirements of the electrical system, and work with qualified electrical professionals to ensure a safe and reliable installation. Remember that the ultimate goal is to provide a safe and reliable source of power to essential loads during a power outage, and the choice of transfer switch is a critical component of achieving that goal. And always remember to document everything. Keep detailed records of all inspections, tests, and maintenance performed on the emergency power system. This documentation will be valuable for troubleshooting problems and demonstrating compliance with code requirements. And regularly review the National Electrical Code and other relevant standards to stay up to date on the latest requirements for emergency power systems. The electrical industry is constantly evolving, and it's important to stay informed about the changes. And it's also important to consider the environmental impact of the emergency power system. Generators can produce emissions that contribute to air pollution. Therefore, it is important to select a generator that meets all applicable environmental regulations, and properly maintain the generator to minimize emissions. The consideration should also be given to the location of the generator. Generators can be noisy, so it is important to locate them in an area where they will not disturb occupants of the building or surrounding properties. And take steps to mitigate noise levels, such as installing sound attenuating enclosures. Additionally, remember to consider the safety of personnel working on or around the emergency power system. Provide adequate training and personal protective equipment to all personnel, and implement safety procedures to prevent accidents. Electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect workers from harm. In addition to the technical aspects, it is also important to consider the economic aspects of the emergency power system. The cost of this system will depend on various factors such as the size of the generator, the type of transfer switch, and the complexity of the installation. However, it is important to remember that the cost of an emergency power system is an investment in the safety and reliability of the facility, and the cost of not having an emergency power system can be much higher in the event of a power outage. Therefore, it is important to carefully weigh the costs and benefits of an emergency power system before making a decision. Lastly, remember to coordinate with all stakeholders involved in the project, including the building owner, the architect, the engineer, and the electrical contractor. Effective communication is essential for a successful project, and ensure that everyone is on the same page regarding the requirements for the emergency power system. and that all work is performed in accordance with the National Electrical Code and other applicable standards. This can help ensure that the system is properly designed, installed, and maintained. It is equally important to consider the specific loads that will be connected to the emergency power system. Prioritize the essential loads that are critical for life safety and business continuity, and ensure that the generator is sized appropriately to handle these loads. It is also important to consider the potential for future load growth. If there is a possibility that the facility will be expanded or that new equipment will be added, it is important to select a generator that has sufficient capacity to handle the increased load. Furthermore, remember to consider the fuel source for the generator. Generators can be powered by various fuel sources, such as diesel, natural gas, and propane. The choice of fuel source will depend on various factors, such as the availability of fuel, the cost of fuel, and the environmental impact of the fuel, and ensure that there is an adequate supply of fuel on hand to operate the generator for the required duration. Also, consider the maintenance requirements of the generator. Generators require regular maintenance to ensure that they are operating properly. This includes changing the oil, replacing the filters, and inspecting the engine. Develop a maintenance schedule and stick to it, and keep records of all maintenance performed. Finally, don't forget about the importance of testing the emergency power system. The system should be tested regularly to ensure that it is functioning properly. This includes testing the generator, the transfer switch, and the batteries, and document the results of the tests. Testing is critical for ensuring that the system will perform as expected in the event of a power outage. In summary, selecting the correct transfer switch, 3-pole or 4-pole, depends greatly on the system requirements. A 3-pole switch is acceptable in some instances, but a 4-pole switch can add additional protection to the system for harmonics or ground fault protection, even if it's not a separately derived system.